Ever been working on a document and all of a sudden you notice there are words, maybe whole sentences that are just gone and you don't know how or why or when that happened? Or you ever try to open a program by double clicking the icon on the desktop and nothing happens, no matter how much you keep trying to double click? You may be doing something that a lot of users who have not grown up with computers tend to do when they're still
Effective
fresh
way to
in
use a
learning
mouse
computers.
is using steady
Let me show you
clicking.
something. Notice when I'm clicking, my finger goes up and down. I move the mouse around to move my cursor around, but when I'm ready to click, my finger goes straight up and down. So this is what happens a lot of times with users who aren't used to using a mouse. This heavy clicking, I'm pushing that mouse forward. I'm kind of jerking it. I am clicking so hard that my hand jerks the mouse. Steady clicking, heavy clicking. See, there is a difference between clicking and clicking while moving. When you click, that's what you use to select something or to open something. But if you are clicking and moving at the same time, that's actually dragging. And there are a lot of times that you want to be clicking and not dragging. I want to open this file, and to open it, all I need to do is double click. As a heavy clicker, you see I'm double clicking, but I'm moving while I'm clicking, so it doesn't open the file. Windows is trying to do something else. It's trying to move it. This is what my hand on the mouse looks like as a heavy clicker when I'm trying to double click. Now, as a steady clicker, I'm just going to give this a double click, and the file opens right up. And when you're steady clicking, this is what your hand looks like. Let's look at another example of how heavy clicking can kind of throw you off. I have a document open where I'm editing a grant proposal, and I want to change this sentence where it says, to get this program started, the center needs 10 computers. Well, I found out that the center needs 20 computers. So it's a simple edit. I'm going to use my mouse and click after the 0 in 10, and I'm going to hit the backspace key on the keyboard to get rid of the 1 and the 0, and simply type in a 2 and a 0. So notice, in order to edit, or to edit exactly where I want, I click in the area where I want to start typing. Now let's look at this as a heavy clicker. I simply want to click behind the 0 in 10, right? But as a heavy clicker, I click and move, and that does something completely different. I accidentally selected a whole bunch of text. And now if I hit the backspace key to get rid of that 1 and the 0, I actually got rid of a whole lot of text that I was not intending to get rid of. So if you're a heavy clicker, what can you do? Well, first you could just practice holding your wrist still and using only your finger, that finger going up and down when you click. Don't use your arm or your hand or your wrist, just a finger. If you work on a laptop, you can use what's called the touchpad or trackpad on your laptop. There is no rule that says you have to use a mouse. The trackpad can be easier because you're just using your fingers to move the mouse pointer where you want instead of driving a mouse. You can also buy a trackpad separately, especially if you have a desktop. Another option you could use instead of a mouse is a trackball. This device is kind of like a stationary mouse. The base doesn't move. You can use your finger to move the ball around, which moves the mouse pointer around on your keyboard. And anytime you want to click, you just tap the button without worrying about if the base is moving, because it doesn't. So at the end of the day, remember that using a mouse is a physical skill. Using those same type of fine motor skills that we use opening a door or making an egg. Remember when you first started driving and how you were when you were using the brake? We were all trash. But over time, we developed those fine motor skills to be able to ease on the brake and bring the car to a smooth stop. Don't get discouraged. Just keep going at it with your computing and be patient with yourself.